There comes a time when you're dating somebody that person might do something that's going to cause you to question whether or not you still want to be in that relationship with them. This is a story about one of those incidents. I call it the melted cheese story. So I'm dating this girl, right? Which is a huge accomplishment for me because less than a decade ago, I genuinely believed in cooties. Low-key, still do. On a scale of 1 to 10, the relationship is like, meh. But we're making it work. Hashtag codependency. So one day, me and baby girl texting, and she hits me with, do you want to go see a movie this Friday? And I was like, let me check my schedule, which is actually code for, let me check my bank account. Because we all know, guys, that movie dates, they aren't just about the movie. You have to put gas in your car, then you got to pick her up, and then you have to probably take her out to dinner before the movie, then you have to buy the movie tickets, and God forbid, she asks for popcorn and a small drink, you might leave the theater homeless and bankrupt, just roaming the downtown of your city talking about, she took everything. My finances were good, and by good, I mean I could overdraft and deposit the deficit within 7 business days and not pay a fee. So I hit her back with, let's go. Friday rolls around, I go get gas, and I go pick her up, open up the car door for her because that's what men do. She hops in, I start pulling away, and I was like, hey, do you, want to get dinner before the movie? And she goes, no, I'm fine right now. And I was like, cool. I wasn't going to insist because of my aforementioned financial situation. We arrive at the theater and I hand the ticket booth girl my debit card and I'm safe. Shout out to BB&T. We go inside and I was like, hey babe, do you want some popcorn? And she was like, do you want some popcorn? And I was like, actually, I'm good. And she goes, I was going to have some popcorn if you had some. And I was like, good thing I declined. Safe. The movie ends and we walk back to my car and I open up the door for her because chivalry ain't dead. As I'm pulling out of the parking spot, she goes, babe, I'm kind of hungry. And I was like, well, babe, it's kind of late. It was like 1 a.m. I was like, maybe it's kind of late. I don't really know what's open right now, but if you see something, point it out. Seconds go by and she goes, ooh, ooh, ooh. And where else does she point? But to the Golden Arches. McDonald's. Strike one. Now, I personally don't eat McDonald's because I'm, pro-life. But she wasn't. So I try to talk her out of it. No dice. A little argument ensues. Finally, I was like, whatever. It's cheap. And so am I. So I went, skirt. So I pull into the drive-thru and the person on the intercom's like, welcome to McDonald's. Would you like to try to McDeath? And I was like, no, thank you. And I asked her, hey, babe, what do you want? And she goes, let me just get a cheeseburger. And I was like, can I just get a cheeseburger meal? And she corrects me, talking about, actually, I don't want the cheeseburger meal. I just want a cheeseburger and a Coke. And I'm thinking to myself, hungry enough to be slightly annoying, but not hungry enough to eat a whole meal. Strike two. I don't even know why I'm complaining. Her dinner cost me a whole $2.13. But because of my aforementioned financial situation, I'm really breaking the bank here. I gotta watch it. I gotta be careful. I pull up to the first window, pay, pull up to the second window, get her cheeseburger and her drink, pass it to her politely, and then I turn onto the main road, Woodruff Road. There's no wood in sight, and it's not rough. It's 1 a.m. It's pleasant. She pulls the burger out of the bag. I'm driving. She unwraps the burger. It gets real silent. I'm still driving. And then all of a sudden, I hear, Shama. And I was like, yeah? And she goes, babe, the cheese isn't even melted. And I was like, I'm sorry to hear that. But the cheese isn't even melted. But the cheese isn't even melted. This is strike three. She goes on and on and on and on, and finally I lose it and I go, what did you expect? It was McDonald's. And then it got real quiet, and then she goes, I know, I'm sorry. All I'm saying is that the cheese isn't even melted. How could they do that? Don't they put it on the grill, then they put the patty, then they put the cheese on it, they put it on the burger, but they didn't do that in this one. The cheese isn't even melted. By this point, my cup runneth over. That's a callback to my last video, Church and Ease. Go check it out. Anyways, I'm so infuriated that I just want to go, woo! I actually didn't think about doing that. That would make me a terrible person. She was really pretty and I liked her a lot. Not as much at that moment, but I did. But as she was going on and on about cheese, I had this epiphany. It sort of dawned on me that maybe this relationship isn't gonna make it to an altar. Then it did. We celebrate our 3-year anniversary in 2 months. We have 2 kids, 1 on the way. Babe, come out here. I'm talking about you. I'm lying. It didn't make it to an altar. Crazy thing was, we continued to date for a few months after the cheese fiasco. And during that time, I realized that the relationship shouldn't make it to Christmas because of my aforementioned financial situation. And it didn't. Till this day, I still dislike cheeseburgers. I dislike cheese in general. I strongly dislike people who like cheese. Okay, unless you watch this video, then I like you. That's kind of a weird way to end that. Leave a comment below. If you like cheese, leave a comment below, melted or non-melted. I just want to know who my real friends are and who aren't.